Hello and welcome to Beyond Sunday, a podcast from Schweitzer Church. I'm your host, Jason Leininger, and in studio today we have Leander Costello and Barb Thomas, and they are in here to talk about the prayer ministry that happens at the Flourish Food Pantry that's held on the Schweitzer campus. The Flourish Food Pantry is open on Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 9 to 2, almost every week, even weeks when there are celebratory events or holidays, the food pantry is still open. And prayer is a part of one of the things that's offered at the food pantry. So we're glad to welcome you both into the studio today.
Thank you.
And we're going to hear about what the prayer ministry is like. So why don't you start there? What is the prayer ministry like?
Well, it's just kind of individual as the people are leaving after they've got the food. I ask them if they would like prayer. And some, of course, say, no, we don't want prayer. But then some of them go, yes. And I'll say, tell me, is there something specifically you need prayed for? And they'll give me a list. And so we'll go through it. And I thank them for coming to the food pantry. And then I usually get this big hug before they leave. And I don't want to push prayer on them, but I feel so good for them because they feel like at least somebody cares about them. It's nice.
It is nice. Yeah, it's pretty significant.
My experience is much like Leandra's. Usually wait till they go through to pray, offer prayer.
Mm-hmm.
I would say 95% of the people will accept prayer or want me to pray. And some people grab your hands. Some people want a hug. Some people don't want to touch you at all, which that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where do you generally offer prayer at? I know one of the spaces that we have back in that space, there's a little prayer room. Do you go to the prayer room or do you normally just host it right there in the midst of all the activities of the pantry?
Usually in the pantry. It's Bob is right at the door and I'm usually a little farther back after they've gotten everything and they're just ready to go out. I ask right then.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't rush out the door anyway.
Yeah, I don't go back in the prayer room. I feel like it's maybe too private for them. I just think when there are people around, it's just a better atmosphere. Yeah. Safer, maybe.
Sure. How did you both get involved in the prayer ministry?
Well, Bob Cassidy asked me if I would do it one day. And I said, sure. I had no idea what I was doing, but I felt comfortable with it. And I've worked in food pantries before, so I enjoy that, seeing that they're getting something they need. And I don't know, I just love the prayer part of it. It's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I started way back when we first built this building. Then I took some time off and came back to it, and I could see the numbers have just like increased so much, and there's just such a need. And I think we're different from a lot of food pantries in that we do offer prayer, and people say that to me repeatedly, that they like that aspect.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the unique or some of the kind of constant requests that people share with you? Are there any that stand out along the way?
For me, it's usually their health, or if they're having problems with a child, or problems with no job, and they need money. They're worried about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hear those repeated themes all the time: health, family problems. They need a job or a place to live, even. Yeah.
You said, Barb, about 95% of the people that come through generally are receptive to prayer, welcoming prayer. I think from the numbers I've heard that there's maybe somewhere between 50 to 60 people almost every day that the pantry's open that are making their way through. It's a significant amount of people coming through.
I think about 70 was our max number.
Yeah.
But we had over 50 today.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
When you pray with somebody in the pantry, do you find yourself having long prayers, or because there's so many people, are they generally short? What's that experience like?
Mine are generally short.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
not a big talker on anything, so they're generally short. And I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable if I just go on and on and
Yeah.
on.
Sure.
Right.
I think they're more comfortable with just me asking God for what
Yeah.
they ask or what they
Mhm.
talk to me about.
Yeah. Yeah, mine are pretty short too.
Well, I see you're following Jesus' advice in the Sermon on the Mount. Keep your prayers short. So he's like,
Well, I feel good about
yeah,
that.
he's like, what's up with these people that pray forever and ever and ever? Amen. Like, the Lord knows what you need. Get to the point. So, well, I thank you for being a part of the prayer ministry. If somebody who's listening to this would want to be a part of that ministry, be involved in the ministry of prayer, how would they go about doing that?
I would probably talk to Bob Cassidy. He seemed to be the one that
Yeah.
that
Okay.
is kind of, I don't know if he's in charge of it or not, but he got me in there anyway.
All right.
Or contact the church office.
Yeah, we can contact the
Yeah.
church office
Mhm.
and then put people in touch with Bob and,
Yeah.
and other things. Well, thank you so much for being a part of that ministry, for sharing your experiences in it. I've recently been reading through a book by a person who helped found another food pantry in this city. And one of the interesting things that they said was that after giving out all kinds of food, there wasn't anything else that they offered. They didn't offer prayer. And the food met the outer, but not offering prayer left a lot to be desired on the inside of a person. And so it's a great resource and really significant in people's lives. So thank you so much for doing that.
More than welcome.
Yeah. And to those who are viewing and joining us in listening, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Beyond Sunday. We look forward to seeing you on Sunday, and we always look forward to seeing you beyond Sunday, seeing what God's up to in your life and in the world where He's placed you. God bless. Bye-bye.